What have you seen from the guys kind of responding to the first loss of the year and kind of a tough one?
Yeah, I thought they had good energy this morning. I thought they were good last night at our walkthrough. Good energy this morning. You could tell it was a physical game. You could tell it was a really late night travel game. It was one where we got back into town at 5 a.m. But come Saturday morning when they kick it off, nobody's going to care about that stuff. You know what I mean? That's been kind of our message to them this week is we got to pick up and keep moving. That was part of the adversity that they faced during 2 days and just kind of some of the plan stuff that we've had since we got here is, you gotta be able to finish strong and you gotta be able to respond to adversity, and so that's kind of where we're at, and they've shown good signs so far. So we'll see how they get through the week.
Rasheed's obviously not an unknown to that staff, but when you target a guy 20 times, I don't think he's going to be an unknown to anyone moving forward. I guess, is there more of an impetus this week to maybe kind of diversify the offense, knowing, or is it just, hey, Rasheed?
Yeah, I hope not. We're going to give it to the guy that can get the yards for us and make the plays. But always, the offense is structured in such a way, and we've got good quarterbacks that can. Tanner does a great job distributing it throughout. Obviously gets situational times, and just kind of sometimes it's the looks that the defense give you that give you an opportunity. And shoot, when you hit it as many times as you hit it, then there's no reservations about getting him the ball or about fear that they're going to do something. Now we got to respond to how they play it defensively, and if they cloud him or double cover him or do like they did a lot in the second half versus him this past weekend, then you've got other guys on the field that are going to have opportunities in one-on-one situations and have got to step up. You saw Moochie Dixon make a big-time catch for our last touchdown on Saturday night. So there will be some opportunities to lend themselves to our guys that are already on our team. It's good to see Bo Corrales out here practicing again and doing some things like that. So we'll see how far that all gets put together. But Rasheed's having a fantastic year. He's fun to watch, and we're going to keep giving him opportunities to help our team.
3 games in with the running back rotation, what have you thought about it? And, is there any thought to maybe like whittling it down to?
Yeah, we got to find more consistency at that position. I think that we've had guys flare up, and we've had this injury and that injury. So some of it's kind of out of our control, and some of it's been just that nobody's kind of risen to the challenge to be that guy. So I do think that we would like to. You want to play as many as you can, but there's a fine line between being able to do that and also being able to execute your full offense and get guys in rhythms and things like that. So, I think ultimately the goal would be to have a starter and a backup and kind of a third plug guy. Until those guys emerge, then you kind of get it can look choppy at times.
Joe's defense really finds a way to limit explosive plays. A lot of the guys have faced it. Rhett's faced it a couple of times. How much do you guys have to, tell the guys about the patience needed to face a defense like that?
Yeah, that's the first word we wrote down was patience this week when we got there, and it's the whole defense was designed back in the Big 12 days to stop it, right? We got to all this air raid stuff and everything at Oklahoma was pushing the brink on all that and creating all these massive explosives. It was designed to cut down on those sort of things, right? It still gives you frustration in the run game because your angles are kind of goofy and so but if you're not careful, then you can get into trying to play the defense too much and you don't run your own offense, So I think that there's ways that you got to execute your base plays and be able to do those things, and certainly there's wrinkles that exist with just the structure that they present to you when they give you something that that they'll give you, or you can set a certain way and it'll set them that way. That can help you. But I think patience is key. I thought that we displayed patience this weekend. I thought that we had 100-something plays, and we played the entire second half. They played virtually all drop 8, which is kind of what this we'll see out of this TCU bunch. So it's so we kind of fell into some experience there in the second half with that, making sure that we had to sustain drives and get through that. Obviously, we got to do a better job finishing, and we got to protect the ball better. But we look forward to the challenge.
Obviously, you've been a coach at places, a player at places with some big rivalries. Kind of what's your approach to a rivalry game like this of managing emotion and kind of making sure it's focused the right way?
Yeah, our Coach Lashley told us in the staff meeting on Sunday that we need to be passionate, not emotional, which I don't know that you can say it better than that, And the rival itself, being the locality, and these kids play against each other in high school, and there's history here, and I know they've played 100+ times, and so there's going to generate some natural energy, and I think that you can be energetic without being silly, and you can be passionate without being emotional. And I think, tying into that, that's what we've been preaching to them about all week. We had a hard day today. We had a hard day of practice, and they got out here and they responded, and it wasn't rah-rah, and it wasn't based off of music and all that stuff. It's because they got out here and worked, and so I was proud of them for that, and we got to finish the week doing that too.
We don't have access to the All-22, but late in the game against Maryland, was it more of a offensive line not opening up holes thing, or was it just running backs back to the consistency point, not hitting the ones that were there? When you average less than 4 yards per carry,
Right, and some of that's tied into our quarterback scrambles and things like that,
True.
and the sacks. You know what I mean? So that's when you get back to our running back carries, we felt better about our running back carries than we did from the overall standpoint of whatever the statistics said. I do think that we got to clean up our run game when they provide you as many different front looks as they did. I thought we got to be able to identify those at tempo. That's one of those kind of blessings and curses of playing tempo, is you got to be able to digest the information the defense presents to you rapidly, and you got to be able to respond, and the offensive line and tight ends have got to be able to see it and make sure that we get that. And I think we certainly can be more consistent running the ball. Late in that game, we felt like we were throwing it at will. They were interfering with our guys. We were completing balls down the field. I think we felt Tanner was kind of in a rhythm, so we felt good about where we were, wanted to be there late in the game. And so I think we're certainly striving to improve our run game, and some of that will help with our personnel, and some of it, as we just kind of settle into what it is that we're doing. But from an overall standpoint, I thought that was the best that we'd run the ball all season. So against a good defense. So that's obviously we're playing a better one this week, and it just gets it gets worse. So
One more.
Tanner looked a little like he was high on some passes kind of throughout, especially early. Was that something their defense was showing? Was that pressure? Was that anything you guys are worried about?
No, I don't. It's anytime you get in a hyper emotional environment like that, that's you can get jazzed up. And he's a passionate player, and he is. He hit a whole bunch of them too. So he's a guy. We can all come in here on Tuesdays. That's what Tuesdays are about, and hone in our fundamentals and our techniques. That's a fundamental issue. That's not anything else issue. It's making sure that he follows through and does the things that he's got to do in those situations. But he's a fearless dude, so it's not, sometimes you worry about like rush affecting guys and things like that, but that's not his problem. So it's and he doesn't have one. We just got to keep coaching it on Tuesdays and make sure that we get every position that we got out there has got to improve our technique and fundamentals if we're going to win this season.